This was by request, really, from someone, and you know who you are. And they wanted me to post up some videos about singing techniques and stuff like that. I have to say that I don't really practice them myself, but I've been with a few people that did a lot of this stuff, so I've picked it all up along the way. And I've written some notes down so that I know where I'm going, because there's more to it than I thought, really. Right, this is the first part then. So first part is to say that there's three main areas. That's tone, pitch, and the power of your voice. First, start with tone. Now, tone is something that you're born with, really. It's the sound of your voice. It's your uniqueness. And so it's really a good idea that when you sing, that you sing it your way, rather than trying to emulate other artists, unless you want to be a tribute act or something like that. You can adjust your tone, but you still have the basis of your sound. So you'll have, as a good example, it's you can whisper, which will create a softer tone, and that means there's more air in the mix of your voice. Or you can shout, which is more or less pure sound without much air in there, so that's a harder, crisper sound. And then somewhere in the middle is just releasing some air. The next point, pitch. Getting your notes right. Now this is very important, because you'll hear a lot of people say that, oh, you've gone flat on certain notes, and that means you're very close, but you're just slightly off key. That's important, but you can do all that. You can fix all this sort of stuff by doing scales and learning those, and your vowel soundings, which will come later on anyway. But do lots of comparisons anyway. That, when you sing a passage of notes, compare it to another song, and ignore anybody that says to you, you sound great. Check it out yourself, and just be very critical about getting those notes right. The next part is power. I mean, you can go from soft to loud, and here's one point. Loudness is not power. In fact, shouting a lot in a voice can, in a song, can actually do damage to your voice. Another point there is you'll notice a lot of people, when they want to blast out a note, one thing that they might do is just try and blast out the notes by taking one really deep breath and then screaming it out. You don't need to take deep breaths. You can just take a half a breath. That's enough. Using the right techniques, you can get more power out than anyone shouting. Where do you sing from? A lot of people I hear will sing from their nose. Right now you hear something very nasal coming out, and it doesn't sound very good. And then again, a lot of people will sing purely from their throat. When you learn to sing or train to sing, you normally get taught to sing from your diaphragm. So if you go down the middle to the bottom of your rib cage, just under there, this is the diaphragm area, and that's the muscle that you want to develop, and that's where you want to sing from. As an example, if I do this line here, I try and sing this from my throat now, from Love Changes Everything. First of all, from here, and I'll sing it, right, okay. Love, love changes everything. Now, if you remember that, and now I'm trying to sing it from lower, and see if you can hear the difference. Love, love changes everything. It's a lot richer and deeper sounding, because I'm pushing the air up from the diaphragm. And when you develop that muscle, just it makes your voice sound so much more rounded. Posture. Holding a good posture is quite important. When you're in the earlier stages, it's more important. It's just really standing up straight. Have you ever tried singing whilst being curled up in a ball? It doesn't come out very good. But the better the training you get with that, the better vocal training you have, the more postures you'll be able to adopt without affecting your voice too much. Dancing, again, this is sort of related to posture. You'll find that people are doing dance music or singing to dance music. have to synchronize their syllables with the movements. Have you ever tried singing whilst running? Every time you hit the ground, there's a jolt on the diaphragm. So it's making sure that you synchronize the syllables. So if you're learning a dance routine to a song, make sure the dance moves match the changes in the vocal syllables, and then that way it'll come out fine. That will get easier with vocal exercise as well, because you'll just be able to have a lot more control anyway. Right, here's a couple of tips on singing. One of them is putting your hands on your head while you're practicing. It opens up it stretches the diaphragm a little bit, and it just helps you when you're practicing. And the other point, which is very important, is opening your mouth and shaping your words. For example, if I do that "love changes everything" with closed lips, it would go something like "love, love changes everything," and then I shape it. It would come out something like "love, love changes everything." That might seem a bit silly. I mean, you can hear the difference there. But when you do this, stand in front of a mirror and make sure you shape the movements. It has an instant effect on your voice. Here's a quick point. Singing, and singing. You've got to sing as much as you can, sing as many different types of songs as you can, wherever you can, in the shower, in the car. People might look at you as if you're mad, but do it anyway. No pain, no gain. You've got to try out as many different sounds as you possibly can, and you can only do that by practice. The only times I recommend that you don't sing is when you've got a cold or a flu, and especially a sore throat, because that can cause damage. So if you've got something like that, then don't sing. But any other time, just sing as much as you can. This is to do with limitations. Know your limits. When you're starting out on the road to sing, pick songs which have a limited range of notes, 1-2 octaves at the most, really. Don't go and try and sing something by Mariah Carey that covers 4 octaves, because it's unlikely that you'll be able to perform it as well as somebody like Mariah Carey, for example. And it will also knock your confidence as well if you try and pick something too ambitious to start with. But I wouldn't worry about it, because with the vocal exercises you can actually add a couple of octaves to your voice, to your upper range and lower range. So it doesn't mean that you won't be able to sing those songs. It just means you won't be able to sing those songs yet. You just have to wait until your voice can cover those notes. But you will, through exercise, expand your note range to notes you couldn't even believe that you would sing. Another thing about the voices is that producers and look for when they're recording artists is what's called a sweet spot. That can cover 2 or 3 notes, can cover an octave, and in very rare cases it can cover an entire range of notes that the singer can sing. But that is very rare. Your sweet spot are the notes in your range where your voice sounds at its best. Finally, I'm going to tell you about the next video that I'm going to put out, part 2, and that's to do with doing your scales and vowel soundings. Now, this is the part that will enable you to get your notes right, learn how to do all the stepping of the vocals, changing between notes, and getting that right, and it will also, in time, expand your vocal range. It's something that you have to do every day. But anyway, that's in the next part, and that's all for now.